Hello everyone and welcome to Scrap Saturdays. I hope you're all doing well. This is another Felicity Jane layout and I'm getting to the end. Like I just have bits and pieces, or so I feel like it. I still think I make about 4 more layouts, and I know that sounds crazy, like 4 more layouts and I'm telling you I'm getting to the end, but I am. I'm like scrambling for ideas because now I'm just working with like leftovers really. And so this is a photograph of my family. My husband is, of course, front and center with my daughter Gabriela and my son Agostino with me on the end. And I just love it. It's one of those very candid, no one's looking at the camera really per se. And my sister-in-law so graciously offered to take some pictures of us because it's such a beautiful area. We usually go down to this city for dinner because we are vegan and there aren't any vegan restaurants here in the city that we live in. So there is this beautiful pier at the base of the street where the restaurants are, and so we love to walk there as a family. We love to climb up. There's a nice beautiful tower and the sun sets in just the most perfect way. Like it's so nice. There's no filter on this as well, so if you can see the direction of the light that's coming across from my daughter and then sort of shady towards where I am. And I think you can see the silhouette of my sister-in-law because the sun is so strong in that point coming down. But again, it casts the most beautiful glow. And so it's kind of a tradition now. Whenever we go, we try to go maybe once a month. In the summertime, we do more than normal because it's so much fun to go out for dinner and stuff like that, but it's usually not something we do. We've been doing more of that now that we're more comfortable and that there are restaurants where they are completely vegan versus going to a restaurant where you have to kind of cater and they don't really know, and so we don't know what we're ordering, and sometimes you feel really like it's not worth it because you're ordering just potatoes or something like that. So yeah, this is a very, very nice photo. And we always make it a point to dress up when we go out. Like we always make it a point. Like I've taught my children that, there's lounging clothes for staying at home and after school because they both wear uniforms. So you take off your uniform and then you put your lounging clothes on. But then we have also taught them to dress up and feel good. I mean, my daughter's wearing jeans. We're all wearing jeans except I'm wearing a jumper. But a blazer, something nice, especially because I believe on this evening, I think we celebrated my mother-in-law's birthday, if I'm not mistaken. And it's just so nice. It's a good sign of respect. It's a nice way of saying, I'm going out somewhere and I'm going to put on my best, not only for myself, but for the people that you're celebrating, right? And so, taking photos as a family, I do see some people down here with their professional photographers, and I think, oh, wow, such a good idea. And, everyone's already all dressed up, so it's kind of nice to capture these. And there's a few sequence of this evening that I have. I have a few more that, again, my sister-in-law took of my son, and he was posing, and he was pretending that he was a model for her. So it's quite nice. So yeah, I'm cutting apart some of these Project Life cards. I call them Project Life cards. I don't know what else you want to call them. I don't end up using that Create Your Happy. I use that in another coming layout. But I always say that I don't like fussy cutting, and I found myself really fussy cutting. I think I cut into at least 4 or 5 of those cards, and even that gray square that I'm eventually going to stamp on, and that kind of moves all over the place. I really like the idea of using the 2 diamonds on the bottom corner, if you can see that. I don't use those colors. I use the light blue one, and then I bring in a yellow one as well. And I like that I've kind of put them down so that they kind of look like a chevron effect, because I don't know how else to use diamonds. And I know that, we all scrapbook and we all have things that creates roadblocks for us. So I'm thinking I'm not alone. There must be a shape or a pattern that's very difficult for you to work with. And for me, it's diamonds. I don't know why. I don't see them strategically on my layout. This is a banner punch that I just got for myself from Michael's with my 55% off coupon. I was so excited because they've been having that coupon for the last 2 weekends. And so I've purchased a circle punch, this banner punch, and then some really nice ink that I really needed, some stamps, some ink for my stamps. The banners, they settle there for a little bit, but they don't stay there either. The today doesn't stay there. So it's a little bit of a longer video just because I told you I'm not struggling, but I'm trying to see how many layouts I can do. I do have another 2 that I created just after this one, and I'm trying to hack out 1 more, and then I'm probably going to do a kill kit with the Felicity Jane and show you what I was able to do with the kit itself. And yeah, it's exciting. So I did subscribe to Felicity Jane. I did. I broke down when I saw their Mila reveal for October, and I just like, yeah, I love it again too much. And you do save, I think, $5 or $6 just by subscribing. So I thought for sure. And the only difference now is I'm going to see how much of a difference it creates. But for the Mila kit, I added the paper add-ons, so an extra sheet of each of the patterns, and I added an extra pack of the die cuts. So I'm going to see, oh, and I believe, yes, in the stickers too, because they're so beautiful. They're like a rose gold sticker. So I really want to see what kind of a difference does it make that if I add an extra $15 of product to the Felicity Jane kit and what I can do with them. But I can truthfully say that I just love working with it. It's just beautiful. I love the tones. I love that it's so different. And I know too, as I said, it's because I'm using current photos, and that changes everything as well. So yeah, we'll see how that goes, and I'll be showing you guys. I think I'm going to try to complete the month of October with whatever I have left, and then hopefully my Mila kit comes in for November, and then we can move on with that. I am excited for their Joy kit as well, which is the random Christmas kit that they have. So I believe it's in place of a December kit. They don't truthfully have one for subscribers. They have like a quiet month so that you can catch up on your bills and whatnot, and then January restarts. So the Joy kit is optional. It's not mandatory that you partake in it, but it's so cute because they've had a reveal on that one too. So I'm excited for that. So I don't know if by the time this video goes up, because it should be around the 20th of October, if the Joy kit will be fully revealed. I do have Christmas kits that are sitting on my shelf that I probably should use, but I'm trying to tell myself too that there's probably going to come a time where, you know, if I do retire the way that I'd like to, I mean, we don't know what the future holds, but I might be packing up some of my stuff and taking it overseas so that I can scrapbook, you know, in my little beach cottage, right? Because that's what I'm going to want to do, is sit indoors and scrapbook with the ocean by my side, right? Those are the things I'm telling myself. Sure, Monica. So yeah, and I have to get into the habit of taking more photos. I don't know if you guys have the same issue as I do. My iPhone, I don't know. It doesn't have the greatest of memories. I don't even know what gig it is. But yeah, I have to like delete and purge and delete so much. And I try to use iCloud, and the same thing with my iPad. And I'm just running into a situation where I'm like, really, people? Like, I can't delete all of my photos, right? What do you guys do? What's your feedback for your pictures and stuff like that? And I don't, you know, dismount my camera, my Canon camera, while I'm recording. So I have to like capture my photos of my layouts with either my iPad or my phone. But I refuse to delete apps like Instagram, which I believe is another thing that takes up memory, right? And I delete all of my messages and I clear up all my emails and stuff like that. But I don't know. I'm getting frustrated. I don't know what the answer is. I'm not that tech savvy, so I'll have to do a little bit of Googling for that. I can't even do my latest update because I don't have enough memory left or space left. Can you believe that? Wow. I must be a really big nerd. I have no idea. So I didn't know, like the letters, the same thing. I have no H's left. So it only came with 3 H's, which is very hard because my favorite titles are This Love, This Moment, something, something photo, everything with an H. Every title I came up with, I was like, what will I say for this? And I am, of course, not, you know, some sort of like amazing title person. I just really use your basic. I use love about 600 times and, you know, the word this about 400 times. So this one is called Pier Walk. Why? Because those letters were available. And you'll see on the next 2 layouts the same thing. I was literally like, I'm becoming an expert backwards speller. Spellerer. Yes, that's what I said. So yeah, Pier walk, and I just kind of placed it down like that. I believe I'm going to cut it into two because I don't know how it's working or how it's feeling. And I'm trying to like not do the same thing all the time, but let's be real, people. The same thing gets stuff done. The same type of layering, the same type of tearing, the same type of this and the same type of that. It just gets your stuff done. And ultimately, that's really what I'm trying to do, right? I'm not trying to come on here and be some sort of like unique person that's reinventing the wheel. No, that's not going to happen. What I'm showing you is that, yes, this is my Saturday morning. It literally is a Saturday morning while I'm scrapbooking this because I was such a good girl and I cleaned the house yesterday on a Friday. And so basically, I need to just sit down, put on some really good background music, and then get to work. And so that's the reality of scrapbooking, especially for myself. And that's what I want you to know is that sometimes it's just so repetitive. It has to be mindless because then I get into the moment and then it flows for me, right? Because that's what you need to do. You need to know that it's not like I sit here like an Einstein and I'm totally like writing this brand new thesis and coming out with a theory on scrapbooking about something that has never been ever introduced or done. No. Because then I'd never get anything done. I would constantly overthink everything, right? And so for me, it really has to be, pick it up, put it down. Pick it up, you like it, put it down. And that's when scrapbooking translates to a really fun hobby. It's when it just flows, right? And just the other day, I saw Sue's Fish. She put up another layout on Instagram, and it was so awesome. It had this beautiful black paint on the background. It had all her bits and pieces, and it had her side little strips of bits and bobs, as she calls it. And when I looked at it on Instagram, I literally answered her, I love when you're in your flow because magic happens. And it's that I can see. I can see that Sue's Fish came out on her page. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was just her. Yes, it's been done before. Yes, it's her total style. Again, it's kind of like Missy and the way she paints, and she's always doing such amazing watercoloring, such amazing mists and mixed media on her backgrounds. And she's kind of always says, I'm doing the same thing, but that's her flow. That's what creates, the space that she needs to translate whatever else she's going to do, whether she's using a die cut or whatnot, right? Same thing with Sue's. It doesn't matter what, embellishments she's using. She's going to have that same flow, that same base. And so when I see my layouts, as I see it now, I stuck down the today before my cluster. So now I'm going to have to find a way to finagle it and slide it in there with the today in place. Real life scrapping. This is how we get to our end result. Sometimes we have to go backwards. But yeah, find your flow. Find that style that speaks to you and start with that as a base and let it guide you towards the next stage of whatever it is that you like to see. And then just keep sticking in little bits and pieces or add something new to your layout, right? But as long as the base is there, then you're flowing in the right direction. Yeah, so I love the way this really, turned out. Again, it's the same color tones. It all works together. I love that there's a hint from cutting up that Project Life card, and I guess in 2 different L's. And then I still had a chunk left over to create those banners at the top, which I told you doesn't make it. It makes it out. One of them makes it, as you can see, and then nothing else at the top. I don't think I put anything except for one of those stitched line stamps because now I'm just down to stamping. And yeah, I don't even know what to tell you. These sunburst stamps, oh my goodness, just love them. They're kind of like in place of enamel dots. I've said that before. There is kind of a detail of a stamp in the center, so it's not necessarily a true circle. It's sort of like a blobbed out cross or a blobbed out star shape, but I really, really like it. I do play with this heart stamp thinking that there's something I wanted to do, but in the end, I put the date stamp there instead, and it just didn't translate. Same thing, I rest the stamps wherever I think I want to see them, but truthfully, it doesn't really work. I'm trying to mimic, some other layouts where I've directly stamped on the page. but it's just my visual playing, and there's no right or wrong. It's just trying. But when you stamp on your background layout, you can't erase it. You can cover it up. So that's why I kind of leave them there until I truly, truly feel that it's something I want to do, right? And sometimes, yeah, you have to have the courage to go ahead and stamp on your layout and then move forward from that. If it doesn't turn out and you don't like it, then you learn for next time. I'm going to use the remainder of one of the Project Life cards. It has polka dots on the other side. I don't know if it was the one that the square that I cut out on the other side that I stamped Remember This on is, but they all have some sort of light gray graphic on the back, and so I folded it in half and I stamped the word delightful on it. At first I was kind of like because the polka dots kind of come through the stamping, but now that I look at it, it all translates. It's beautiful. I think at the end it's always that thing. It's when I sprinkle, Heidi Shine over my layout. It's kind of just the collective, flow or the coming of, my layout. So it's the most exciting part for me for sure. And then you'll see what these little babies do on the side here. They're just like, oh, and I stamp it off only because I don't clean my stamps properly in between stamping. So I do the same thing, Kelly. I'm so lazy, but I just wanted to make sure that no blobs would stay on my page. But I really like it. I like that I kind of take away one or two and I try to make each cluster a little bit different. So that you're not getting the same kind of look, but trying to at least make it look like it matches. But I really like it, and I really like it in the black as well, because there's so much black in the inks that I've already used. It kind of makes the whole page come together, or else the light colors kind of float. Do you know what I mean? Oh, I love the baby one. It's so cute. I'm like, one more up here, just because. Wait, one more. Yeah, just underneath the today. That was so cute. So yeah, be inspired, my friends. Be inspired to do the same thing over and over and over and over again until you perfect it, until you're ready for something else. The same thing is just good enough. That's how we all start. We all start by doing the same thing. So don't be discouraged by seeing so many different things on YouTube or so many different things on Instagram. Be encouraged, be inspired, and know the truth that we all start with the same base, because we all have our own style. It's just finding your style and accepting it and loving it and cherishing it just like you do everyone else's work. Thank you guys so much for everything. Thank you so much for all your comments, for everything. I totally appreciate it. Be inspired. Be inspired by what you see. Be inspired by this hobby, because this hobby heals. And I will see you guys very, very soon.